We were just chatting before about how some people are saying that remote work is not working very well, and which is, I suppose, an observation, but I don't think that necessarily means that remote work doesn't have a future.
Exactly. And I always look at these, the morning newspapers, as all the blog posts are coming out every day about who's going to say this isn't ever going to work out and we're all going to come back into the office. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think we are going to be dramatically more remote going forward than we were in the past. And it will be because people have seen the benefits. They'll also have seen the costs, but they maybe have figured out how to overcome those costs as they go. And the part that I guess aggravates me a little bit is when someone writes a headline that says remote isn't working, they aren't acknowledging that we've had, if I want to push hard on it, thousands of years of learning how to work face to face. And now in just a few short months to expect that same kind of quality dynamic, it's not realistic. So we're going to have to be far more proactive to make these transitions into remote work and make them be effective. Or we're just going to have to acknowledge that it'll take us a while to figure out how to do this right. And, these are still at the experimental stage. And I think people should cut themselves some slack, cut their organizations some slack, both directions, managers and the people doing the work in the organization. And acknowledge that we're still coming to terms about how to do this in this particular time. And thank you so much for, the nice comments about the book, The Plugged In Manager. There I talk about people, technology, and organizational process. And, over the years since that book, I've kind of moved to what I call a thinking in 5T or a 5T approach, where I have people start with, what's your target? First T. How about your talent? What skills, knowledge, skills, ability are they bringing to the process? What techniques are you going to have? What technology tools do you have? And then acknowledging the times that you're working in. And certainly the times, that's the overarching context piece right now, is the shutdown process and working from home in a new environment. But that 5T approach, all those different dimensions we need to consider to make this work out well. So it's not just that we can say, well, today I'm going to work at home, tomorrow I'm going to be back in the office, all I need is a laptop. That isn't it. It's the complete dynamics around the team and how the workflow is going to happen. And all of that will be better to the extent that we negotiate it. So if we think about the stakeholders, in terms of our colleagues, the people who maybe will use the work that we contribute, as well as managers and the organization stakeholders more broadly. But if we think about that as more of a negotiated thing, I think we're better off. And I'll kind of go with my little tidbit. We see in 3D, we need to think in 5T, knowing that's not kind of a natural thing, but also, and I've got a prop here that I like to demo a little bit. If you think about an organization or the work that you're trying to do as being a component of 5 or more different dimensions, you can't really pull on any one and think that that's going to work out. It just doesn't budge. But if you let other things kind of go along with it, so if I'm going to make a transition to remote, then am I also going to change, how often I talk to my team members in a formal way, or how often I talk to them in an informal way, or how do we track work progress? Is it focusing on the results, or is it focusing on how many Zoom calls I was on? And I'm going to hope that it was on the results. But that may be different, and that may be things that we need to manage